I'm Battalion Chief Cody Wright, and this is Report on Conditions.
In this week's Report on Conditions, we take you to a large vegetation fire in the city of San Jacinto, and we get an inside look at one of our HAZMAT team's unique tools.
Engine 1 with Report on Conditions.
Hi, I'm Maggie Klein de la Rosa. Thank you for joining CAL FIRE Riverside County Fire Department's Report on Conditions. For the past 2 weeks, from May 22nd to June 4th, our firefighters responded to 7,146 calls for service, including 5,540 medical emergencies and 231 fire-related calls. Of the fire calls, 68 were vegetation fires and 17 were structure fires. Let's check out a few highlighted incidents from the past 2 weeks. On Monday, May 22nd at around 2 p.m., firefighters were dispatched to multiple reports of a vegetation fire south of the intersection of Warren Road and Ramona Expressway in San Jacinto. The first arriving engine company officer confirmed a well-established vegetation fire moving south at a moderate rate of speed, prompting a request for an aircraft response and multiple additional engines, several of which came from our local cooperating cities. Once the air attack was overhead and had a good visual on the behavior of the fire, they requested 2 additional air tankers and 10 more fire engines. Due to an immediate threat to structures, evacuation warnings and orders were issued for approximately 200 homes in the Cove community. Firefighters were successful in holding the fire to the vegetation, and no homes or structures were destroyed. Evacuations were lifted around 8:30 that evening, and all residents were able to return to their homes. By May 25th, firefighters were able to contain the fire to 348 acres. In the morning of Tuesday, May 25th, firefighters responded to multiple reports of an outbuilding on fire in the 10,500 block of 56th Street in Jurupa Valley. The first arriving firefighters located a large structure involved in fire with an immediate threat to a large barn and residence, prompting a second alarm response. With assistance from 2 of our cooperating cities, firefighters were able to contain the fire after about 2 hours. A 4,000 square foot auto shop and a travel trailer were destroyed, and 3 vehicles were damaged, but no injuries to civilians or firefighters were reported. At around 12:30 p.m. on Wednesday, May 24th, 911 dispatchers received a report of a traffic collision near the intersection of Lost Road and Lakeview Drive in the city of Wildemar. Upon arrival, the Riverside Sheriff's Office and firefighters located 1 vehicle approximately 200 feet over the side of a rocky cliff with 1 patient trapped. After hiking down to the patient's location, it was determined that the safest and quickest way to get the patient out was to hoist them out of the steep terrain with a helicopter. The Sheriff's Rescue Helicopter Star 9 was used to pick up the patient and transfer them to an awaiting ambulance on the roadway. The patient was then transported to a local area hospital with critical injuries. On Monday, May 29th at around 1 p.m., firefighters responded to 911 calls of an apartment on fire in the 50,600 block of Suncrest Street in Coachella. The first on-scene engine company officer reported heavy smoke and fire visible from the roof of a large 2-story apartment complex. 1 additional engine and 1 truck company were requested along with a breathing support unit. After about 40 minutes, the fire was contained to the apartment of origin, which was destroyed. There was significant water damage to 2 additional apartments, and the American Red Cross was requested to assist a total of 17 displaced people. 1 civilian suffered a minor injury but declined any treatment. 1 firefighter, also with a minor injury, was transported to an area hospital where they were treated and released the same day. In the early morning hours of Thursday, June 1st, firefighters received multiple reports of a trailer on fire in the 23,600 block of Pico Avenue in Nuevo. The first arriving engine company officer reported a travel trailer, a shed, and 1 vehicle fully involved with fire. Fortunately, after about 20 minutes, the fire was contained. 1 civilian was assessed for a medical complaint at the scene, but declined treatment or transportation to the hospital. No firefighters were injured, and engine crews were on scene for several hours performing extensive mop-up.
Did you know that the lush green annual grass growing in your yard could be putting your home at risk for wildfire damage? With the recent increase in rainfall, seasonal grasses are growing quickly, and when they dry out, they become fuel for wildfires. Don't wait until it's too late to protect your home. Visit rvcfire.org for information on how to create defensible space and reduce the risk of wildfire damage.
Hi, I am Ryan Ross. I'm a firefighter paramedic at Station 34, and this is Did You Know? This is specialty equipment that's on our HAZMAT unit. And we use this for any sort of incident that we don't want to expose any toxicity to people. This is a multi-ray air monitor, and this monitors for oxygen and any sort of toxic chemicals that could be in the atmosphere that could be dangerous to the firefighter. We could attach this to the robot and send the robot down into a hazardous area and give us air monitor readings in that area, and we can remotely see what those readings are to give us an idea of what exactly we're dealing with.
Engine 9, set up for structure protection at Deal Peak Road. I'm Bill Weiser. I'm the fire chief here at Riverside County Fire Department in the CAL FIRE Riverside unit. I'm here to remind all of our homeowners that we had a bit of rain this year, and that means our annual grass crop is thicker than we've seen over the last few. Please, let's work early at getting clearances around our home so your family's safe, my firefighters are safe. And for questions or instructions on being able to do that, visit our website at rvcfire.org.
We'd like to say thank you and give this week's strong work to everyone who helped make our Family Day a successful event. In case you missed it, here are a few pictures from this past Saturday.
That's it for this week's Report on Conditions. Be sure to follow at CAL FIRE RRU on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook to stay up to date on incidents as they happen. Did you happen to capture any pictures or videos of our firefighters in action? If so, send them our way at rrupio@fire.ca.gov. On behalf of your CAL FIRE Riverside County Fire Department, Public Affairs and Community Education Bureau, I'm Maggie Klein de la Rosa. Thanks for watching.